Welcome to the Success Face. In this video, we're going to be discussing the book, Influencer, written by Kerry Patterson and colleagues. Influencer is a powerful resource for anyone looking to improve their leadership skills and make a greater impact in their personal and professional lives. We'll be exploring the key concepts and strategies outlined in the book and how you can apply them to your own journey as a leader. So sit back, relax, and get ready to take your leadership to the next level with Influencer. You can have an impact, bring about positive change, and play a significant role in resolving both major issues and minor issues that are annoying. Although it is not fixed, behavior is stubborn. You can now learn some strategies for assisting others to change, including yourself. That may seem hopeful, even idealistic, but take a look at Mimi Silbert. Through the Delancey Street Foundation in San Francisco, which assists homeless felons and repeat offenders, she brings about real change. It doesn't just feed them and hope they get better in some way. Through work and acceptance, it leads them toward new, productive behavior. Focus on just a few vital behaviors is how Silbert, like other successful influencers, accomplishes this. Therefore, learning to identify high-leverage behaviors that will have the greatest overall impact is the first step in becoming an influencer. Put your preconceived notions to one side and study the best in order to identify these crucial behaviors. Examine the actual results. Concentrating on a small number of essential behaviors has enormous influence. Changes in a small number of high-leverage behaviors can often resolve even the most pervasive issues. Then, look for positive abnormality. Examine personal circumstances, organizations, or communities that ought to be comparable to yours but do not have the issues you want to address. Examine the different things they are doing. Look for people's recovery behaviors, which are things they do to change and avoid falling back into old habits. In order to accomplish this, 2 sample groups, preferably more, must be examined. Let's say 6 different employee groups participated in the same training program, but only one consistently used the new skills. What makes that group unique? Concentrate on actions. Keep speculation for later. Note that members of the successful group may joke more. Note that if their supervisor is less receptive to being challenged than other supervisors. Make a list of the behavioral differences that could have improved one group's performance. After that, test those actions. In low-risk test situations where you can quickly receive feedback, try these strategies. Look for outside studies that support or challenge your observations. You will eventually come up with a short list of important behaviors. Concentrate on modifying those. A community of influencers working together is needed to solve big problems. You may discover that people frequently approach change with mental models that are incomplete or inaccurate as you build your list of influencer tools. You don't have to disprove their theories or change every false belief they hold. Instead, concentrate solely on behavior. Only the responses to 2 questions tell people if they will be able to change their behavior. To begin, is it worth it? No matter how many reasons they have, people will not change if the effort is not worth the likely gain. Second, can you accomplish it? No amount of nagging will matter if a person does not believe that change is possible. There will be no change. The most common approach taken by individuals to try to affect change is nagging, reminding them with clear, intrusive language, but it fails. We can transform into powerful influencers. Instead, create profound vicarious experiences by utilizing words and narratives. Create visuals. Make characters to serve as models for new actions. It is essential to emphasize important points through compelling, dramatic stories that demonstrate principles and inspire individuals. Describe the entire story. Don't merely frighten people. The television show Scared Straight made at-risk teens want to stay out of trouble, but it didn't give them any options or hope. Tell stories about how you dealt with change. People choose their actions based on what they think will happen to them as a result, according to this statement. Influencers do not rely solely on one strategy. 6 general strategies are combined. Addressing individual values and desires is referred to as personal motivation. Teaching crucial information and the new skills necessary to act on it is referred to as personal ability. Utilizing peer pressure is known as social motivation. Social ability means assisting individuals who are struggling on their own to band together for assistance. Building reward systems is an example of structural motivation, getting people to take responsibility. Changing the environment in which an action occurs is referred to as structural ability. Personal motivation can be used to influence others. Sometimes people behave the way they do because they don't want to or because they don't like the new behaviors they're being asked to do. Find a way to make the undesirable desirable to change this. Take, for instance, the routine of brushing your teeth. Although brushing your teeth is kinda boring, you do it because you think it's good for your breath and hygiene. A considerable lot of the problems we face stem more from an absence of expertise, which thusly comes from an absence of purposeful practice, than from a hereditary revile, an absence of boldness, or a person defect. Utilize 2 strategies to transform new behaviors into similarly desirable habits, generating new experiences and motivations. This is the strategy of, try it, you'll like it. Find low-risk ways to get people to try the new behavior you want. Storytelling about similar people who did the same thing and succeeded despite the effort required to change should help pave the way. We are able to see consequences and connections that otherwise remain blocked from our view when we inspect our actions from a moral perspective. The majority of people do not act in a way that can rationally explain value. They do things that are in line with who they think they are. After a period, those activities become routine. Propensities will quite often be disengaged from objective assessment, and from your ethical compass. You want to turn that around. Look for ways to tie your actions to your moral principles. Try to follow a positive code of conduct that emphasizes the consequences of your actions. Beginning with language, elucidate the disadvantages of destructive behavior in comparison to the advantages of more benign or healthier behavior. Don't lecture if you're assisting others in changing their negative habits. Respect their decisions. Use questions rather than directives to lead them to new actions. Establish connections between the desired action and the more subtle intrinsic rewards. Make a fundamental attribution error if people don't change despite your efforts to influence them through personal ability. You might believe that they haven't changed because they don't want to, because doing things the old way is natural to them, or even because they're bad. People frequently resist change because they cannot. They lack the ability, even if they know what they want to change. They fail to put new skills into practice because they underestimate the effort required to learn new behaviors. Even when losing weight, the ability to change one's behavior rather than willpower is frequently the problem. The practice of distinct, particular facets of the desired behavior or skill is one strategy. This requires total concentration, so it can only be done for a short time. Compulsive bad habits can feel as disgusting as going to bed with gritty teeth if we can. Change the feeling associated with a vital behavior. People also require prompt feedback that is based on clear criteria and attainable objectives. One cannot, for instance, play a sport better. That is too hazy. Instead, a person can try performing individual tasks differently or faster. When trainees are at ease, deliberate practice works best, so remove fear from the learning environment. Make boring topics interesting. People will inevitably stumble. Furthermore, if you make mistakes, use them to strengthen your resilience. Learn from your mistakes, which are common when learning a new skill. Break down difficult skills into manageable steps, and frame emotionally challenging situations in such a way that you maintain your composure and are in touch with your rational self. Influence people through social motivation. Peer pressure can be very potent, as anyone who has seen the devastating potential of mass movements knows. Despite this, people continue to attempt difficult changes without the support of a community. Make good use of the power of social support. Influence others using structural motivation. Extrinsic rewards are one of the most fundamental strategies for attempting to influence behavior. Additionally, they rank among the most dangerous. If you aren't careful, you might reward bad behavior and encourage it. For instance, the Soviet attempt to motivate oil drilling crews with incentives failed. They found that workers drilled a number of shallow holes, which are easier, rather than deeper wells, which were more likely to produce oil, and they offered bonuses based on the total number of feet drilled. Don't offer rewards that pit your employees against one another to preserve your company's culture. This alone can go further in motivating others to change than almost any other source of influence, according to the statement, when a respected individual attempts a vital behavior and succeeds. Don't make it less enjoyable for people to do things they enjoy. Rewarding children for things they already do, for instance, can backfire. They lose their natural inspiration and slack off the way of behaving. Therefore, bonuses should not substitute for personal and social motivation. If you follow a few rules, you can still use extrinsic rewards to change something. Add monetary or external rewards after enlisting opinion leaders, crafting compelling narratives, and demonstrating to people how the changes you advocate align with their best selves. These need not be substantial. In fact, certificates and other symbolic rewards may be sufficient. Begin small. Give employees who perform well a lot of specific praise. Rewards should not be given until the final results are in. Even if people don't achieve the desired outcomes, reward them for engaging in vital behaviors. Be cautious when using punishments. A serious, focused warning can change behavior as much as punishment can, sometimes more. Be consistent when you do slap someone. Ensure the discipline lines up with the infraction. Influence people using your structural ability. While it is natural to concentrate on each individual when attempting to influence change, this is not the only route. People's behavior is strongly influenced by their environment. If leaders of a company say they want employees to talk freely but spend their time in intimidating offices far from the plant floor, they won't likely get what they want. The human heartstrings are really pulled at by the desire to be accepted, respected, and connected. And for the rest of us, managers, parents, and coaches, if you can learn how to harness this incredible power, you can change almost anything. Observing the environment is the most difficult aspect of it. Make the invisible visible your goal. This could be as simple as marking boxes with "Fill to Here," which assisted in retraining workers to use shipping containers appropriately. It could be just as shocking as the hospital's bacterial cultures of doctors' hands to prevent accidental infections. Indeed, even prepared clinical experts didn't wash as frequently as important until they saw pictures of what was developing on their hands. Accentuate similar relevant but previously invisible data stream components. This could be simple or complex, from presenting graphs on updating a cafeteria to cultivate cross-departmental mingling. Create the environment in a way that makes it easier for people to act in the way you want them to and encourage them to do so until it becomes second nature. Thank you for joining us for this discussion of Influencer by Kerry Patterson et al. We hope that you found the information and insights shared in this video helpful and applicable to your own journey as a leader. Remember, the key to effective leadership is constantly learning and growing, and Influencer is a valuable resource for anyone looking to take their skills to the next level. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe to our channel for more great content on leadership and personal development. Until next time, stay motivated and keep leading with purpose.